Hi Chewies, here's Alexandra and welcome to yet another unboxing video. This time we will have a look at another Magic the Gathering product, and to be exact, this is one of the commander decks called Power Hungry. This is a black, red and green commander deck with 100 cards, and well, here you can see obviously the box. You have this oversized foil card here in the front. It's a little bit cone shaped, the box. On the back, you see here, this is nice artwork. Here you see the content, 100 card deck, 3 oversized foil commander cards, deck strategy insert with rules for commander format, Magic learn to play guide. Yeah. So let's open the box and see what we have inside. This comes out that way. So here you have obviously the commander card number 1. Here in a nice big foil version. So, and then we have here the box, and there you have the other commander cards. This is number 2, and we come to the exact things later. Here's number 3, and oh my god, I have bought an empty box. No, no, just kidding. I obviously opened it previously. So here you have the insert for Commander with the Commander rules, and also the deck list and a little bit on how to play this deck. And here the standard Magic the Gathering how to play guide. So normally you have here then a package with all the cards. And now we have a look at the cards. So, I have previously played with this deck already. This, I have sorted them and sleeved them, obviously. So, but now let's have a look. Here, this is the land base. It starts with, let's see. There we have the standard lands. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 swamps. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mountains, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forests. So those are the normal lands. Then you have the non-standard lands, and we start here with a legendary land. It's a rare card, Care Cap. It adds colorless mana, and you can create a 0/1 red kobold creature token. Next is the Grim Backwoods. Creates colorless mana, and you can sacrifice a creature to draw a card. Then we have the Opal Palace. Adds 1 colorless to your mana pool, and for 1 colorless and tapping, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color in your commander color's identity. So in this, for example, if you take this here as a commander, you can create black, red and green mana with it. If you spend this mana to cast your commander, it enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of times it's been cast from the commander zone this game. So this is obviously a pure commander card. In this deck we have, how many? 15 new magic cards that are specifically created for commander, and this is one of them. Really nice. So standard evolving wilds, you can sacrifice it and search your library for a standard land. Then we have Jund Panorama. Add 1 to your mana pool. For 1 and tapping, sacrifice Jund Panorama, search your library for a basic swamp, mountain or forest card and put it into your battlefield. Tap, then shuffle your library. So basically the same like this. Again, Terramorphic Expense, same. Colony Garden, it's like a forest, produces green mana, and comes with a 0/1 green plant creature token. Llanowar Reborn enters the battlefield tapped, creates green mana, and Graft 1. This land enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter it. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may move a +1/+1 counter from this land onto it. So this comes with a little booster for your creatures. Really interesting. Temple of the False Gods produces 2 mana. You can only activate it if you have 5 or more lands. Then we have some dual lands here, the Golgari Guildgate from the Return to Ravnica block, black and green mana, black and red mana. For the Ragnos Guildgate, we have the Gruul Guildgate, red and green mana. Rapture Spire. Rapture Spire enters the battlefield tapped. When Rapture Spire enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you pay 1, and you can create mana of any color with that. So, when this enters the battlefield, you gain life and produces black and red mana. Vivid Grove enters the battlefield tapped with 2 charge counters on it, create green mana, or remove a charge counter and create some other mana. Golgari Rotform, this is from the old Ravnica block. You have to return a land you control to your owner's hand, and it produces 2 mana, a black and a green. So, and this is also here a commander's card. Add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color. Of your commander color's identity. Interesting. So, Savage Land enters the battlefield tapped and creates black, red, or green mana. And the last land is Kazandu Refuge. Enters the battlefield tapped and creates 1 life and grants you red and green mana. So, that were. Now we have the uninteresting stuff out of the way. Now we come to the interesting stuff. Let's start with the rare cards of this deck, shall we? So, at first we obviously have the 3 commanders of the deck. So this deck comes with 3 non-foil normal sized cards, obviously, for the 3 bigger versions. So you can use these ones as your commanders if you like, and every time you have to reshuffle this in your library, for example, then you can instead use this one. So, nice feature. But anyways, let's have a look at the commanders itself. We have here the Shattergang Brothers, legendary creature. It's a mythic rare. For 4 mana, you get a 3/3 creature with sacrificing a creature, and your opponent has to sacrifice 1. Same for artifacts and enchantments. Really interesting commander features, especially with this deck. With this deck, you have the ability to create multiple tokens, and well, you have over time enough tokens to sacrifice a lot of creatures, and this way you can get rid of powerful creatures of your opponent. Very nice. So then we have Sick Core Deathkeeper. For 5 mana, you get a 4/3 creature. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 3/1 black and red Graveborn creature token with haste onto the battlefield. So this is obviously a way to, well, keep your creatures sort of alive with this commander. So, but the main commander of this deck that is supposed to be played with this is Prosh, Sky Raider of Care. For 6 mana, you get a 5/5 Flying Dragon, legendary. And when you cast put X01 red Kobold creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast Prosh. Also, you can sacrifice creatures to boost him up. Obviously, this is a very powerful card as a commander. This is also a new card. This is specially designed for commanders, because every time you cast your commander from the command zone again, you add 2 colorless mana to his mana cost, and so while he gets more expensive and more expensive, you get even more volume out of it when you recast him. Quite an interesting commander, but also quite heavy in the mana costs. So you have to tangle a little bit which commander you prefer from these 3 ones. So now we skip a little bit faster through the creatures. We have 100 cards to go through, and so I won't read every card. If you want to read the text, pause the video, please. So we have here the Charnel Heart Worm, 6/6 creature for 7 mana. Then we have the Deathbringer Tokar for 6 mana. You get a 3/3 creature. Then an artifact, Spine of Isha for 7 mana. Interesting artifact. Jar of Eyeballs. Then we have the Plague Boiler. Then the Hua Tuo Honoret Physician. Interesting name. So then the Brooding Saurian. Then the Haunted Troll. Primal Vigor. Foster. Silklash Spider. Ophiomancer. Endrek Zar, Master Breeder. Endless Cockroaches. The Fell Shepherd. Stronghold Assassin. Widespread Panic. Stalking Vengeance. Inferno Titan. Goblin Sharpshooter. Tooth and Claw. Sudden Demise. Mass Mutiny. Capricious Effort. Tempt with Vengeance. And that were all of the rare cards. So let's count them up quickly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 rares plus the ones in the rare section. There we have... Where are they? Come out, come out. Wherever you are. Where have I put them? There. There's another one. And here another one. So. And then obviously your 3 commanders. So for the price of around 30 euro for this whole deck, simply the amount of rares and mythic rares is worth the price, in my opinion. If you count every rare for at least 1 euro, then you get enough for your buck. So, and obviously there are still some uncommons and commons to go through. So here we go. Sprouting Thrynex, Scarland Thrynex, Deepfire Elemental, Jund Charm, Carnage Altar, Soul Ring, Armillary Sphere, Obelisk of Jund, Swiftfoot Boots, Fernand's Celebration, Terra Revenger or Ravager. Goblin Bombardment. Then we have Rough Tumble. Curse of Chaos. Blood Rites. Vile Requiem. Golgari Guildmage. White of Precinct 6. Curse of Shallow Graves. Quagmire Druid. Dire of Dread. Viscera Seer. Hooded Horror. Walker of the Grove. Reincarnation. Curse of Predation. Restore. Spoils of Victory. Sakura Tribe Elder. Night Soil. Jade Mage. Fecundity. And Elvish Skysweeper. So, that rounds it up. 100 cards in this commander deck. And now let's talk a little bit about this deck. What do you think? Well, like I said, for your spended money, you get a lot of it. Quite a lot of rares and mythic rares. Is this deck well created? Well, from the perspective, if you fight those decks against one of the other 4 different commander decks that are released from Magic the Gathering as a set like this, well, you can definitely play with them against each other. Is this deck viable for a commander play with against a constructed commander deck? I would say definitely no. Reason for this is the mana curve of this deck is super high. If you just have a look at the mana costs. I'm just going through a little bit, and you might see a pattern there. This deck is extremely slow, yet very powerful. So if you have enough mana on your hand, well, you can very well play this deck, but most of the time, the first 5 or 6 rounds, you have around 2 or 3 mana, and most of the spells you can't even cast. And so, for a playing perspective, no, this deck is not really viable. I personally would scrap this deck and pull out the rares and mythic rares and reconstruct this deck. So simply for the fact that it is a too high mana curve. But anyways, I hope you liked this little insight into this deck. Would I recommend to buy this deck? Well, like I said, you get a pretty big amount of rares and mythic rares. If you're aiming for that in constructing maybe your own commander deck, then yes, go for it. Also, you could try one of the other ones that are out there. Other than that, I hope you liked this video, and we see us in the next video. Alexandra.